I know it's late, but I figured I'd jump on live real quick. No purpose. How's everyone doing tonight? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Related to making money. Okay. I wanted to do a quick little video to making money on a lot of mistakes that are common mistakes I'm seeing in some of our statement of needs for grants and some things as far as structuring our business and running our business that we kind of want to make sure that we're not doing. Okay, so should we do grants first or business structure? Grants first. We'll get to the money first. Okay, so grants. When we're talking about business grants, you want to make sure that we are putting our business in like the best light, right? So we want to really talk about whatever positives we have about either us, our business, what we have going on. But you want to talk about our statement of need. Why do you need this money? Okay. Whatever you need the money for, it needs to make sense. It needs to be able to make you money. Okay. So if you are a business, and let me give a good example. What doesn't make sense? Okay. If I had a consultation and this boutique wasn't really in business. They were like stuck with a lot of old inventory. And I'm thinking that they're wanting the grants for like marketing to kind of push the old inventory. But they were like, well, no, we want to expand and like get a couple of locations. And it's kind of like, well, if we're not booming online, then what are we expanding to do? So just because we get a brick and mortar and we have a sign up on the shop, that's not going to bring the clientele in. Okay. So if we're more pre-revenue or our revenue is low or we're still trying to like get our business going, then what things are going to make you money? Okay. Are you maybe wearing too many hats and we need someone to kind of take some of that load off of you? So maybe we need to hire someone else to help you. So like admin costs, or are we booming and all your inventory can no longer fit in your apartment, in your home, in your garage, and we now need a bigger space? Do we need maybe some more targeting marketing? Like if I were able to run Facebook ads, if I was able to have more marketing, I have a flow of customers. I'm just not able to expand my reach. If I could expand my reach, I can kind of double my customers. Then that makes sense to ask for it in a grant. Maybe wherever we are is a little outdated, or maybe we need some newer equipment. Those are things to ask for. What is going to make your business money? That's what we're asking for. So when you're asking for, or when you're developing your statement of need, really sit back and think, what does my business need that's going to help propel it or help it make more money? If you need more customers, we need more marketing. If you're overwhelmed, like we're making money, but you're everywhere, you probably need some more additional staff to help take off that tedious work so you can be focused on whatever it is you do, or being creative, or working outside of your business. Payroll, not for yourself. So we can't, hey, give me $10,000 so I can go do something and not charge the customer. That's not what a business grant is for. A nonprofit, maybe, but you can't say, pay me so I can then go and give the service for free. Okay. So whatever you're asking for, don't have it tied to you. So any kind of payroll needs to be for additional staff, admin, subcontractors, all that good stuff. Okay. So when you're talking about your statement of need, tie it to a need of what's going to really make your business some some money. And then, of course, have a detailed budget, okay? So don't just freestyle, everything ending in double zeros. Really go out and price out what it is that you need and make the budget around whatever the grant amount is for. So for a $5,000 grant, let's not have a $15,000 budget. And then for a $30,000 grant, let's not have a $5,000 budget. Okay. So asking, like I said, asking to pay off debt. I just need some money, just, to have some extra money in the bank, or I'm behind a couple months on rent. I need to catch up. Those kinds of things are not what a grant is for. Okay, if we're bleeding money, if we're not making enough money, if we're always, short on the first, either we're not making enough money or we're either spending too much in a certain expense. You may have some employee theft, or we are bleeding somewhere and we need to catch the bleed. Grants, we want to focus on what is going to make your business money, because once again, the grant, the business or the organization that's given the grant, they need some kind of story at the end of the year. Like, what did you do with the money? Oh, I was able to do this, and this. If I give you money and you just go pay off debt, well, at the end of the day, you're still making the same numbers. That money didn't benefit you. Okay, so you really want to focus on what you need to ask for, and always look to position your business to show the highlights of the business, okay? If you don't have my grant bundle, I have a grant workbook that kind of walks you through this, or you can book a grant call with me. It's 30 minutes. I'm going to kind of ask you these same kind of questions. I'll tell you, like, hey, you need to position your business like this, and you should probably ask for it, boom, boom, and boom, okay? So what is so great about you? What's your experience? What are you in? How is your business changing lives? And when I say business changing lives, like, we don't have to be saving the penguins. Simple things make... That's my battery. Changing lives can be anything. So if I sell earrings, right? Well, when a girl puts on some cute accessories, that makes her feel better, right? So let me show you. Basic, right? A little earring, just spruces up a little girl's look. So let's just say I sell accessories. I'm doing earrings, necklaces. I'm not saving the world, but let me tell you what I am doing. I am helping women feel better about themselves. Okay. I am helping women, just want to look nice and look good. The motto, when you look good, you feel good, you do good. Okay. So what I would say is, I would maybe get me some statistics. Okay. So how many women, are suffering with anxiety or depression or, low self-esteem, but so if a woman looks good, if she feels good, she's going to feel better about herself. Right. So I designed a super affordable earring line. I have cute accessories and necklaces. And the great thing about accessories for women is, one, we can dress up a casual outfit, or we can still look cute and simple. If I gain 10 pounds, I can still fit my accessories. Or if I gain 10 pounds, I can't fit my jeans. I can't fit my dresses. So my Joyce earrings and accessories, is helping women feel better about themselves. I have a great affordable price point so that the average woman can afford them. With these financial times that we're in, there is a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. It's a lot going on right now. And it is very hard for women to always feel, good about themselves. So by me having these, affordable earrings, it just, helps a lady, have a great day. Okay. So what your business is doing doesn't have to, save the earth, but how is your business benefiting someone? If I have Joy's gumbo and shrimp, okay, I'm selling seafood. I'm selling soul food, pork chops. Ain't nothing healthy, right? But who doesn't love good home cooking? Okay. In today's society, a lot of people are working. They do not have time to, go home and have a cooked meal. So at Joy's Seafood, Gumbo, and Shrimp, I provide good home cooking. So you can come on in and get you a meal, for that good home cooking. Right now we're in a microwave society. The price of food is going up, and people are having to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet with the with what's going on in the world financially. Interest rates are going up, egg prices going up, everything is going up, right? So with me providing this, by me having my restaurant, I'm allowing people in my neighborhood to be able to still have home cooking without having to take all that time and cook a home cooked meal. Okay, you can twist your business to whatever it is. You just want to show what purpose does your business serve. Okay, so that's what we're focusing on when it comes to our statement of need. Now, on the business structure side, I would say the biggest mistake I'm seeing is commingling of personal and business funds. Now, this is a hard one. This is a hard one because it's hard to keep money separate, especially when, when bills are due, things are due, and money is there. But it's very, very, very important that we keep the business money and your personal money separate. So the first thing you want to make sure that you do is that you have a business bank account. We don't need business funds going into your personal account. If you accept Cash App and Zelle, I am not a fan of that. I want things to go in a POS system, meaning like a Square, a Stripe, a PayPal. I prefer a point of sale system or a POS system because one, that's going to track your sales. There's like a third party reporting of what sales you have. Number 2, we're now able to give clients invoices. So like we're running our business like super professional. But if you have to, like, hey, Joy, like wherever I am, I need Cash App, I need Zelle, I need Venmo, whatever it is, make sure that the Cash App, Zelle, and Venmo is linked to your business account, not your personal account. Okay, you don't want business money going into your personal bank. You want it all going to the business bank account. Well, why does it matter? Let me tell you why it matters. Your business bank account is going to be your business resume. So if you are having like money coming into your personal account, your business is not going to get credit for it. Eventually, you're going to want to do something with your business when it comes to finances. You're going to want to get a car in the business name. You're going to get a loan or a line of credit in the business name. You're going to want some kind of funding. And when it comes to your numbers, when it comes to determining whether you qualify or how much you qualify for, everything is going to be based on that business bank statement. So let's just say your Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, whatever is linked to your personal account. You make $5,000 a month just in Cash App and Zelle's. 12 times 5 is 60, right? So that's 60 grand that your business isn't even getting credit for, but you're making the money. Okay, so no matter if you just formed your LLC 5 minutes ago, you got to put your Walmart hat on. You got to put your Sam's Club hat on. You are a CEO of a multi-million-dollar business. So therefore, we must conduct ourselves as how a CEO of a multi-million-dollar business will do. They're not going to have anything going to their personal account. Now, this business account, we need to make sure that we're only paying business bills out the business bank account. This is going to be hard because you're going to be in Walmart. You're going to be somewhere with the kids and you're going to be like, you're going to just swipe the card. Okay. Well, we can't just swipe that card because swiping that card is going to get us in trouble. Let me show you how. So the whole point of forming your LLC is so that you have, well, one of the reasons why you're going to form your LLC is so that you can have something called asset protection, okay? So, now my little drawings. This is you. And when you form your LLC, we have like a layer of protection around us, right? Okay, so then we're going to get, our license and permits. We're going to have our operating agreement, the contract for the LLC, and we got our business bank account. So we are protected, okay? So our house, our home, our money in the bank, our assets is protected with our LLC, operating agreement, business bank account. If we start playing, with the church's money, if we start playing with the business bank account as our personal piggy bank, okay? So on your business bank statement, we got nails, we got lashes, we got haircuts, we just at the hookah bar. Like, what's going to happen is that's called commingling funds, right? That's a way to what they call pierce the corporate veil. Pierce the corporate veil means I see you formed your LLC. I see your file, I see you got your operating agreement. You got your business bank account. However, once you form all these things, or once you put these things in place, are we following them, or are we running them how they're supposed to be? If not, then they can pierce the corporate veil, meaning break through all those layers you put through and still get to you, your house, your car, your personal assets. We don't want that. Okay. So number one, we got to make sure that business bank account is nothing but business. If it's easier for you, you can do a little transfer from account to account. If you want to have your personal account and your business account at the same bank, so your little online transfers can be, simple, whatever it is. But if you need to go pay your mortgage, you got to go pay your rent, you got to go get these lashes done, you want to go ball out and, get a whole new makeover at Sephora, that needs to be on that personal check card, not the business check card, okay? Now, if you're a makeup artist, and the makeup is a business expense, yes. When I'm saying these examples, I'm saying that whatever the person is buying is not going to be classified as a business expense. So anything personal needs to come out of your personal account. Anything business needs to be out the business account. All income for the business should be in the business account. And you need to be paying yourself and then paying your bills out that personal account. Okay. If you are an LLC owner and you have not made that S Corp election, you're just going to transfer money over to your personal account and use the money that way. It's called an owner's draw or a distribution. If you're an LLC owner and you have not made the S Corp election, you're just going to pay taxes on whatever the LLC made. So whether you took the money out, whether it stayed in the LLC, it doesn't matter. At the end of the year, LLC owners pay a tax on the profit of the LLC. Okay, so that's how you will pay yourself. Now, if you're an S Corp, it's going to be a little different. If you have chose to make an S Corp election, just like a little review, an S Corp is not a business entity, meaning you can't go to the Secretary of State and form an S Corp, okay? You're going to either be an LLC or a C Corp, or you're going to just choose that S Corp election. If you choose the S Corp election, you need to be on payroll. It needs to be a reasonable payroll. So if your company is making $3-4 million a year, it's not reasonable to pay yourself $10,000 a year. So the standard is going to be what would a reasonable person in your same industry, in your same business type, how much would they be paying themselves? Okay. And so you want to make sure that you're on a salary. If you're an S Corp owner, you can split your payroll in half and do half payroll, like with as far as taxes being taken out, and then a half a distribution. When it comes to your expenses, you need to know what your industry's business expenses are. Okay, like I said, if I was a makeup artist, then me going to Sephora is going to be a business expense. Okay, Eating out, that needs to be out the business bank account, and we need to keep the receipt. Okay, the IRS has a new rule that on the receipt, you have to have the receipt for the meal, and on the receipt needs to be who was at the meal and what about business was discussed. Okay, so me and Beyonce were at dinner and we discussed marketing for the Renaissance tour. Okay, so your bank statement is not going to work for meals. You need to have the actual receipt. But simple things like your apps. Okay. So if you're using, any kind of editing apps for making any kind of graphics for Instagram, if you have any kind of, if you're like at if you play music at your business and you use either like a Pandora or a Tidal, that's a business expense. If you have TV on at your business and you're using like a YouTube TV or Hulu or, Tubi, one of those apps, those are going to be a business expense because you're using it for the business. So the YouTube TV needs to be coming out of the business account because that's the app that we have TV on in the business. And so that's a business expense. Your cell phone. If you're using your cell phone for business, that's a business expense. Mileage or your gas or, using your car. We're going out of town and it's going to be a flight and a hotel. So me and my girlfriends are going to go out of town, but we both own our own business. Well, we're going to talk about business, right? What's going on? What can we be doing? Blah, blah, blah. So now our hotel, our flight, the food there, that's a tax write-off because that was a business expense, okay? If you don't know what all tax deductions your business qualifies for, I have several tax deduction guides on my website that will break down in your industry what you can write off, like, what the average person can write off in that industry. But a lot of things are a write-off, so make sure that they're coming out of that business bank account, okay, and not your personal bank account. If for some reason you left your personal card at home and you only had your business card and you were low on gas, am I saying don't go get gas? Or you left your personal card at home and you're at work or your other job and you're starving, am I saying don't get food? I'm not saying that. If if you have to use your business card for a personal expense or vice versa, it won't be the end of the world. You need to, though, reimburse that other account for it, okay? So that's why I like checks, okay? Or do a wire transfer, but you need to notate the wire transfer. So, hey, I used the business card at Walmart for $100 to buy my kids snacks. It wasn't a business expense. So the personal account's going to then wire back the $100, but that transaction needs to be recorded somewhere in paper and just put in a file folder, okay? You don't need it now, but 3 years from now, when the IRS may audit your books, you're not going to know why on what's today's date? March 16th or whatever today's date is, you had transferred $100 from your personal account to your business account. But if you had a file folder that said, reconciliation or, reimbursement of expenses, and you have like a little receipt or a little paper, hey, on March 16th, I transferred $100 for the business account because on this date, I swiped the business account on accident for boom. That's how you can kind of undo the wrong, okay? But everything business is out the business account. Everything personal is out the personal account. Know what tax deductions your industry or your business qualifies, because a lot of times the benefit of having a business is like some of your ordinary living expense or ordinary lifestyle expenses can now be a business expense. Okay. Like I said, mileage, gas, cell phone bill, eating out, travel, entertainment. Okay. Are you taking a client, to sit on the floor at the Rockets game? Are you taking your client to some kind of concert, to wine and dine your client, either trying to keep them as a client or get their business? Those kinds of things are going to be tax deductions. Any kind of conferences. I'm sure everyone is working on bettering themselves, perfecting their craft, knowing their industry. A lot of conferences are going to be at fun places, Mexico, whatever. So the whole conference expense, so the conference, the travel, all that will now be a tax write-off. Okay, so it's very important to know, what all you can write off so you can make sure all that is coming out of your business bank account. It is March. The deadline for most LLC annual reports are going to be in that this April, May, June months. Check with your state to see when your LLC report is due. Every state, except for a couple of them, have to have an LLC annual report. I think Arizona, Ohio, South Carolina, they don't. But you want to make sure that you get your annual report in with your state. If your LLC hasn't made a dime, if you haven't done anything with your business, that doesn't matter. You need to still file your LLC annual report with your state, okay? That's so that the state knows, yes, you're still using this LLC name, and a lot of times some may charge you a fee to file that report. Some people may not. If you don't file that report, they're going to make your LLC inactive. And here's the issue. So, this is us, and these are all the walls we have built by forming our LLC, getting our operating agreement, getting our license and permit. We kind of put all of these walls around us and our assets. However, if I am, Joy's Seafood Gumbo. If Joy's Seafood Gumbo didn't file their LLC annual report, and so now the state made my LLC inactive, I accidentally left the gumbo out overnight. I didn't know. I served it the next day, and someone got food poisoning, got sick, and sued me. The first thing they're going to do is pull up Joy's Seafood and Gumbo LLC at the Secretary of State. Wait, it's inactive? Oh, well, they're coming through that layer. They're coming through that layer and coming right to me. Okay, so once you set everything up, so you form your LLC, you get the proper license and permits and insurance, you get your business bank account, you have your operating agreement, the contract that dictates how your LLC is ran. You got to now make sure that now that I've set up my 7-figure business, now I'm the CEO of the next Walmart and Sam's Club. Now I got to run it correctly so that they don't get to come back and pierce the corporate veil and get to my assets. Okay, so you want to make sure that we kind of don't make those mistakes. Popular POS systems would be Stripe, Square, PayPal. PayPal will play with your money. So I would say Stripe, Square, Clover. Your bank will have a credit card machine. Their fees sometimes are a little bit more than the other ones, but you want to really have a POS or a point of sale system. So when you run this report, it's going to tally up and it's going to show you what your sales are. That's also a great way to verify your numbers. Okay, so even if someone pays you cash, they need to be emailed an invoice so that everything in your CRM or your point of sale system is adding up, and now you're able to see what your numbers are. Okay, the third mistake I see a lot of business owners making is they don't know their numbers, meaning you don't know how much money did you make gross, and then how much money did you make net. So you'll hear things like gross profit, net profit, gross income, net income. Gross income means all the money that came in. So all the money that came in from cash, all the money that came in from credit cards, what was that number? So let's just say Joy's Seafood and Gumbo, we made $100,000 this month selling gumbo and pork chop, okay? So I'm putting $100,000. $100,000 is going to be my gross profit or my gross income. When I'm saying gross, I'm saying GROSS, okay? So gross income will be my $100,000. That's not what I made, okay? Because guess what? I had to buy food. So let's say I spent 20 grand in food. Let's say I spent $10,000 in rent. Let's say I spent $30,000 in payroll. So I'm already at $60,000. So when I take that $100,000 minus all my expenses, that leaves me $40,000 net profit or net income. So your net income or your net profits are going to be the total minus all your business expenses. That's what you really made. Okay. So I need to know how much money am I really making? Like the money's coming in, but once you start running a business long enough, you're going to see, baby, the money comes in, but baby, it goes out even faster. There is something always going out in business, okay? The landlord wants their money. The employees want their money. Inventory wants their money. These permits want their money. You're going to have something break down for repairs. It's just, the money's always going out the door. And so a lot of times we're just in that hustle and bustle, and we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and money came in and we're paying this bill, and money came in, we're paying that bill, and we're this like seesaw, like money comes in, we pay a bill. Money comes in, we pay a bill. Money comes in, we pay a bill. But are we making money? Are we making a profit? At the end of the month, is there money left over, or are we just always in that, robbing Peter, pay Paul, robbing Peter, pay Paul, in that hamster wheel? And it's real easy to get caught up in this hamster wheel. If we don't know our numbers, we don't really know what we can afford. So maybe we hire another person. Yeah, I need another person for marketing. I need another person for this, for that. Can we really afford this other person? If I'm making a negative, I can't afford anyone. Okay, so income, gross profit, revenue, all of those things are talking about money. Expenses, deductions, all that's talking about bills. Net is the number after all of that. What is your business making? Okay, so the great thing about having a point of sale system is when you run that monthly report, it's going to tell you all of your income. So to run a report, be like for March, you made blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then, the great thing about running everything through your business bank account is you can go through your bank statement and tally up all the expenses. I always say have 4 business bank accounts for this reason. Number 1 is going to be your income account. That way, all your income is in one account. You know how much money is coming in. It's hard to manage cash flow with money coming in and coming out in the same account. If you get a charge back, if, a deposit doesn't hit, if the credit card, sometimes a credit card batches late and they don't give you a deposit, and you have bills coming out that same account, it's very easy for that account to get negative. We never want our business bank account to be negative, okay? So you want to have an income bank account, then you want to have an expense account, okay? With your check card, and you just do a little transfer, have the account at the same bank. You wire the money daily, weekly, whatever, over to cover all your bills. So if you're swiping the card for $1,000 today, I got to move $1,000 over. If you're writing $1,000 worth of checks, you're moving $1,000 over. Okay. But if you take your bank statement and go through all your expenses, you then know that here's all my expenses. So at the end of the day, yes, a lot of money came in. Ooh, I was busy. I was booked. I had these clients. It was coming in, had these sales. But there could be even more money coming out the door. So that's why it's so important that you, at the end of the month, and the financial form is going to be called a profit and loss statement. You're going to have your income. You're going to write out all your bills in categories. So how much did you spend on inventory, on marketing, on payroll, on equipment, on travel, on eating out, on entertainment, on supplies, on office supplies, on rent. All those expenses have categories. At the end of the month, what is that number? And is it a positive number or is it a negative number? If that number is negative, and baby, it can be negative, okay? Because I'm telling you, in business, it's always something. The second you get two steps ahead, something gonna break. The second you get 2 steps ahead, here comes some kind of inspector, or you don't have this permit, here's that fine. Here comes that sales tax audit, there's that fine. It's always something in business. It's like a badass kid. It's just always something. Okay? Always something. So here comes the chargeback. Your vendor decided to increase their fees. Hey friend, the materials are now more, meaning, hey, you're ordering way too much. I want to make some more money off of you, so let me go ahead and increase your cost. So it's just always something going on in business. So you have to know, am I making money? If that number is negative, so when I have my $100,000 coming in, all my expenses, if this number is negative, then that means I have to cut back on something or something is wrong. Why is this number negative? Am I making money and it's going out somewhere it doesn't need to be going? Am I ordering too many supplies? Am I miscalculating how much I'm paying for my inventory? Do I have too much payroll? If that number is negative, we got to figure out why is it negative. Are we too heavy somewhere? Do you have too many employees on a certain day? Are you buying too much inventory? Is your rent too much at wherever you are? Like, do I really need to be at this place or can I be somewhere else? Or do I just need to make some more sales to get some more income? At the end of the month, if you are making a certain amount of money, can you afford to increase your inventory? Can you afford to add on another product or a service? Can you afford to, hire another employee? Okay. So I lost track. Thank you. First account's going to be income. All the money comes in, all the credit card deposits come in. Second account's going to be expenses or operating. You're going to have that check card. You're going to have your checks, and that's what you're writing on your bills. Your third account's going to be for payroll. If you're paying any kind of 1099 independent contractors, or if you have employees, that's going to be your payroll account. You do not want to write payroll off of the same account as income because you don't want anyone playing with your income account. Sometimes employees will be slick. They're going to change either the amount of the check, or I've had people just make up checks because, when you give a payroll check, it's going to have your banking information. Okay. I had employees maybe remix a logo and just print checks, right? If you have employees, you're going to have to give an account where the IRS will debit your account for the payroll taxes. Sometimes I've had the IRS, move that move that comma over one, and it shouldn't have been over, right? So if I'm trying to pay $10,000 in taxes, they wanted me to pay $100,000 on taxes on accident, right? You're going to get the money back, but you got to talk to the IRS and you got to be on hold. So it may be a 30, 60 day delay. Can your business sustain $100,000 miscellaneous debit for 60 or 90 days? Probably not. If your employee changed their check from $100 to $1,000, can you sustain that $900 loss as you cuss and fuss with Bank of America and PLS and go back and forth? So if I only have payroll coming out of one account, it's not affecting my income account. So granted, the employee may be slick, and they will. That's only going to affect the employees. That may just be 5, 10, or 30 people. It's easier to call, hey, don't even cash that check. It's going to bounce. Bring it back to work tomorrow. I'm going to give you a cashier's check, and you just tell me whatever is your bounce check fee at your bank, and I'll add that to your check. I would rather call 30 people and tell them that, but my income is still coming into my income account. My credit card money is still coming in. Every single day I am making money. I am able to pay bills versus the employee wrote that check and it's coming off my income account. So if I only had $5,000 in and they wrote a $10,000 check, I'm now negative $5,000. So that means all the credit card money that's coming in, and it hits, I can't touch it because it's being eaten up by that negative $5,000, right? I don't have any cash to put my hands on to go pay the landlord. The landlord could care less. They don't want to hear no problems. All they want to hear is, where is my rent? The lights, they don't want to hear about, they don't care about that. They don't want to hear that story. They gonna turn them lights off, right? Wherever you're getting your supplies, they don't want to hear that story. They ain't got nothing to do with them, because how you got your problems, they got their problems. Okay? Everyone in life got their own problems. And if we all sat here and we all told our problems and we heard everyone else's, we probably pick ours up real quick like, ooh, I thought I had something going on. Okay, so don't nobody care that your employee changed the comma and it's not your fault, baby. Life ain't fair. Okay, and these business streets is real. So we're gonna just keep the employees with one account. They don't have access to the real money. Okay, and then your fourth and last account's gonna be tax/savings. So on the months that we are heavy. So if I'm Joy Seafood and Gumbo, I may be real popular in the summertime when people are home, and they want to eat out more. Okay, so maybe my summer months I make more money. Well, baby, the sun don't shine every day. Okay, so as soon as you start making money, pat yourself on the back, but brace yourself for impact, because pretty soon it's going to get dark again. So it's seasons. It's not hot all the time. It's not cold all the time, but it's called seasons. So in your heavy season, we're going to put some extra money aside. We're not about to go turn up in Tulum. You're not going to buy that new bag, because guess what? A new bag going to come out next season. Your bag going to be old. We're not going to go get some new shoes, because guess what? In 6 months, them shoes going to be old. We're going to put that extra money aside, because Joy told me on that live that something always happens in business. So as I'm in my business and my truck breaks down or my oven breaks down and I now either got to, have a high repair bill or buy a new one, I can then pull from that tax savings account to help, weather the storm. Or if I'm going through a slower month and maybe I'm short $1,000 on payroll, I have a little piggy bank to go pull from to be able to cover my payroll, so everything is still copacetic. Okay, you're not going to make a lot of money every single month. Every business has seasons. Okay, consistent, heavy, small. Consistent, heavy, small. Every business has seasons. You need to know your seasons. That's why you got to be doing your profit and loss statement, knowing your numbers. Okay, so after a year of going on, you'll be like, okay, so these months are heavy for me, and then these months are more skim. Okay, so these months are heavy, these months are skim. So on my heavy months, let me go put something aside. Eventually, at the end of the year, you're going to be writing the IRS a check. Okay, so you're gonna want some pot to pull from, so you don't have to just come up with the money. You already have some money stashed aside for a rainy day or for the IRS to kind of help you with that tax bill. Maybe an opportunity just comes into your lap. So if I'm Joy Seafood and Gumbo, maybe, Beyonce's Renaissance tour is coming in town, and she is a big fan of gumbo, and she wants me to, cater, but I have to cater for her, the dancers, the whole crew. So it's going to be a big job. And sometimes on jobs, you have to upfront the cost and then you get paid once you deliver. Okay. So now I have to, double order all my inventory. I got to make all this stuff. I may have to have my employees working overtime, time and a half, to get all this stuff made and ready. But if I don't have an extra reserve to go buy the ingredients, to go buy the food, to go get this money at the Beyonce Renaissance tour, I'm going to miss out on my opportunity. Okay. So you always want to have in your tax/savings account just a little something extra, just in case God brought the opportunity, you can now execute on it. Okay, so we talked about knowing our numbers with that profit and loss statement. We talked about having our 4 separate bank accounts. We talked about making sure that our LLCs and corporations annual reports are filed, that we're not inactive. We talked about making sure that business expenses come out the business account and personal expenses come out that personal account. The last thing I want to go over is we got to make sure that we have the proper contracts for our business. Okay, so every LLC needs to have an operating agreement. If you're a corporation, you need to have something called bylaws. Okay, that's going to be the contract for your entity. If you are an S corp, you need to figure out, are you a C corp being taxed as an S corp, or are you an LLC being taxed as an S corp? Remember, an S corp is not a business entity. So at the end of your business name, if it says LLC, you are an LLC. You need an operating agreement. If at the end of your business name it says INC or corp, then you are a corporation. You need to have bylaws. The second contract every business needs to have is going to be an NDA or a non-disclosure agreement. Okay, this is going to be like a confidentiality agreement so that people don't know whatever are your trade secrets, whatever is going on in your business. If you have anyone working for you in your business, that is either knowing your numbers, knowing your client database, knowing the kind of systems that you run, knowing where you are making any of your purchases, this person needs to be signing a non-disclosure agreement, okay? Meaning, if I have someone who's working for me at Joy Seafood and Gumbo, and she knows the recipe to my yams and my seafood and my gumbo, I don't need her to copy my recipe and then go online and make her own cookbook. I don't need her to copy my recipe and then go to my competition and be like, hey, do y'all want to know what's really in the blah, blah, blah? So anyone who is working for you, working with you, but they are if they have access to any of your business information, if they know who your clients are, okay? So if they have your client database, you don't want them selling your client database to your competition. You don't want them taking your client database and opening up their own business. So I don't, if I collect everyone's maybe name, number, and email as they check out, I don't need the girl who works for Joy Seafood and Gumbo taking all of that, going home to her grandma saying, Mama, we can do this on our own. And then she goes and sends a mass email out, hey, Stacy Seafood and Gumbo is opening up. Here it is. Okay, so you want to make sure if they're in your client database, if you purchase things, so maybe you make something or you sell something, where are you buying your stuff from? No one else needs to know that. If you have developed some kind of system as to how things are worked, no one else needs to know that. So it's kind of like any of your personal business you don't want known, whoever knows it needs to have a non-disclosure agreement signed. You can have a non-disclosure agreement, just a non-disclosure agreement. Or if you already have an employment agreement or an independent contractor, there needs to be an NDA in that contract. But when someone is working for you, they need to know, oh, this person is on their stuff. They're not playing. I'm not going to play with them today. They still may try you, but by having a contract, by having something in writing, that just means don't play with this one. If you are interested in doing a business deal with someone else, we're not discussing the business deal until both parties sign a non-disclosure agreement. If I'm bringing a deal to you, maybe it's going to be either a potential partner, maybe a potential investor. I'm not going to bring the idea to you, especially if the person has more money or more access to money than you. Because if I have a great idea of what could be a good idea? I have a great idea of putting Joy Seafood and Gumbo as like a food truck, right? But I don't have enough money for the food truck. I'm going to go talk to someone who's a millionaire who has money. They just don't have the idea. And I sit down, I tell them my most popular dishes is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if we just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we go get a food truck, and we take the food truck to all the football games and the baseball, I'm telling them the whole layout. If they're smart and I don't bring an NDA, they're going to say, it sounds good. Let me get back with you. You gave them the whole business plan. Why do they need you? If I have the money, I'm going to go get the food truck. Well, she said the best dishes was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to go get somebody else to go give me dishes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And she said, go take the food truck to the basketball games, the football games, and the fair. And she just gave me a whole business for free. But she wanted 50% ownership in it. I can go do it free because she gave it to me. So before you discuss anything dealing with business, especially if the other person has more money or more access to money, you got to have them sign an NDA. Now, if a person doesn't have anything, if you sue them, you can't get anything, okay? But if a person has money, if a person has assets, when they sign that NDA, they already know, oh, she's not playing. If I breach this NDA, you're going to come after my house. You're going to come after my interest in this business. You're going to come after me. And I have some stuff that you can come get. Okay. So we do not want to discuss anything business related without having an NDA agreement or a non-disclosure agreement. Okay. So if someone's working for you, whether an employee or an independent contractor, or if you're discussing a business idea, a business venture, we need those people on an NDA. You need to keep all these contracts somewhere safe in your office so that you always have them, scan them, so it's just always, it's just always in the cloud. If you don't have a non-disclosure agreement, I do have a template. I do have a template on my website that you can get. So we're going to have our operating agreement or our bylaws, and then we're going to have our non-disclosure agreement. The third contract that we need is going to be a copyright transfer agreement. This is going to be so that you own any of your content, okay? So your logo, if you have photos from a photo shoot, if you have someone do a video to like have some kind of advertising for your business. In copyright, the rule is whoever creates the content owns it, okay? So if I go and hire someone to make Joyce Seafood and Gumbo logo, although I paid them, the graphic designer, technically, he or she still owns the copyright in that logo. Well, right now, if you just formed your LLC yesterday and you got your logo today, you aren't really worried about that because I don't have no money in the bank. I just formed my LLC yesterday. I'm not anything for real, so who cares? Let me tell you why you should care. Everyone on this live is a multi-million-dollar CEO. You have the next Walmart, you have the next Sam's Club, you have the next Netflix, okay? You just haven't gotten the money in the bank yet. If you run your business like you are the next Walmart and you're the next Sam's Club and you're putting your CEO hats on, we understand it's easier for someone to give me the right to something in the beginning when I'm nobody versus me coming back 10 years later and my business is now worth $100 million. Aren't they going to want a piece of the pie? They are. Okay. There is a case in Atlanta, Sweetwater Brewery, a beer company opened up 30 years ago. They had a friend design their logo. They paid that friend $500. 30 years later, Sweetwater Brewery sold last year for $300 million. And what did the family friend do? Maybe some family and friends going to get you every single time. They are suing Sweetwater Brewery for $30 million, saying that they own the interest in their logo. And they do because they created it, okay? So if someone is designing your logo, if you get photo shoots done, so if you sell clothing or makeup and you have a photographer come do photos, although you pay the photographer, the photographer still owns those photos, okay? If you have someone come do a video for your business, either advertising, whatever, the videographer owns the video. You want them to sign a copyright transfer agreement or a copyright assignment agreement. So it's going to say you are transferring your interest in the work that you did for me to me. If you have employees that are writing blogs for you, making content for you, doing anything, writing an ebook for you, if you have any employees creating anything for you, you want to make sure that you, the business owner, owns what they're creating. Just because you pay them and just because they work for you doesn't mean that you automatically own that. So if I have a girl and she's doing videos, and maybe she creates a character and she does the video and it goes viral, right? It goes viral. It has 2 million hits. And so now I want to, let me give a cute little name. Maybe she makes like a little character, like a little old lady character, right? and the old lady's eating the food and she loves it and it just goes viral. So now I want to maybe make a seasoning after the old lady. I want to now capitalize on this old lady character. Well, baby, I don't own the old lady character because this little girl I paid $10 an hour. She created it. Someone got in her ear and be like, girl, they can't do that. That's your character. You don't want to not own all of your information, all of your content, all of your stuff, okay? Because when your business does grow, you're going to want to capitalize on your business and you don't want someone else taking your stuff from you, okay? So a copyright transfer agreement or a copyright assignment agreement, I have one on my website for you to own your content. Now, let's just say Joy Seafood and Gumbo. I don't want no one else using Joy Seafood and Gumbo. I want that to be my name, like McDonald's or the Golden Art. If you want no one else to use your name or use your logo, you need to get something called a trademark, okay? A trademark is going to cost you around $2,000, $3,000. It's going to take a year to get. But if you want no one else in the U.S. to use your name or your logo, then the proper protection is going to be a trademark. I would advise that you get with a trademark attorney to get the trademark because you're probably going to have an issue responding to the office letters that are going to be sent to you. So most trademarks are going to come back with a, hey, here's our little office letter, our office response. We need you to blah, 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 blah. And you're probably not going to know how to respond to that. And there are due dates in those office responses. Okay, so if you can trademark your name, you can trademark your logo. You can trademark a slogan, which is like a logo. So to protect that, you would want a trademark. If you have a signature piece, if you have like a signature line, if you have maybe you have a course that if you're like selling a digital product, your company name may not be big, but maybe your ebook is like your #1 seller and it's a cute little name. If you want no one else to use that ebook name, you would have to trademark that name. Okay, so that's what the trademark is used for. A copyright would be if that no one can reproduce what you have created. So if you write a book, I can't just go buy your ebook, take your picture off, put my picture back on, and call it my book. If you make something, so if you let's just say I'm a nurse and all my edges fell out when I got these braids, and I put together some kind of mango oil and coconut oil and cream, and I kind of develop a recipe for a formula that grows out hair. If you make some seasoning or some food and you have a recipe, if you have a formula or a recipe that you don't want anyone else to have, you need to get a patent, patent, and you will need a patent attorney. Okay, so if I come up with a formula for hair growth oil, it's going to grow your hair back. I don't want to give my recipe because eventually I'm going to come out my home. I can't make it fast enough. It's selling off the shelf. I'm going to have have this formula mass produced somewhere. When you go to a manufacturer for them to mass produce your formula, they're going to mass produce it, bottle it up, and then ship it to you. You don't want the company to have your formula because they can, as they're making your formula, they gonna make their own bottles with their name on it with your formula. Okay, so the patent protects your formula. So when you go send your formula out for them to go make your product, they won't go and then make their own. If you send anything out to China, you need to make sure you have this because they will steal whatever it is. If you invented some kind of extra broom, if you invented something and they have to now mass produce that, you don't want that formula, you don't want the architect, you don't want that blueprint design just duplicate it and with some other business name on it. Okay, so that's what you would use to protect that. If you have any kind of supplements, okay, or any kind of seasoning recipe, any kind of recipe or formulas, you got to have patent. If you have invented, I don't know, a brush that will automatically brush your hair, and you went and got I don't know if it's an architect or an engineer or one of them to design the blueprints to how everything's going to work. We can't release that design unprotected. In business, it is grimy, okay? In business, it's eat or be eaten, kill or be killed. Like it's not nice out here in these business streets, okay? People are going to test you. People are going to try to get over on you. So you want to make sure that you know how to protect your business, okay? So we got LLCs, copyrights, trademarks, patents. Am I missing anything as far as protecting yourself? Waivers. If we are doing a service, okay, so if you are putting lashes on, you're doing nails, you're doing a barber, or you're doing a man weave, you're a hairstylist, you're a massage therapist, you need to be having your client sign a waiver of liability. When you are altering someone's look, something can happen, okay? Is it normal to tape your eyes down and have someone glue fake eyelashes in your eyes? That is not normal, okay? Most people don't have an issue. But what if my eyes are ultra sensitive? What if the glue just burns my eyes to death and I just can't handle it, and I walk outside, I have this really big eye infection, and now I can't see in one eye? They are coming back to you. If you are a massage therapist and you are doing your lymphatic massage, and this girl is allergic to almonds, and you have almond oil in your oil, and you just rubbing off on her body, and she breaks out in a rash, and then now she has a big skin infection, she is coming out to you. If you are relaxing someone's hair or you're braiding someone's hair and it's just too tight and she has this tension and it, all her sides came out, but the hair came out from the scalp and she just can't, it's like a big old bald patch and she just can't get it to grow. She is coming after you. If you a barber and you're doing the man weave and you putting that glue on there and then you putting the braiding hair and then the glue is allergic to his sensitive scalp and he's been bald all this time and then now he has a big old gaping hole because he got that skin infection from that glue, he is coming after you. Okay? So I don't care how nice the client is. I don't care how sweet the client is. Before you alter anyone, before you touch anyone's skin, you touch their hair, you touch their lashes, you doing nails, right? You doing nails and somehow she, maybe you was, she has some kind of reaction to the acrylic. I'm not saying that anyone did anything wrong. I'm not saying that no one here did a mistake. People have reactions to these kinds of things that has nothing to do with you doing it wrong. Their skin, their body, they just had a reaction. If you've ever gone to the dentist and had a procedure, I don't know if you look at the paperwork, but you signed your life away. You signed a waiver. If you ever had a surgery before, you signed your life away. You know that you can die. You know that you can maybe not wake up because that anesthesia. Now you can't sign away negligence. So if you negligently did something, the waiver is not going to help you. Okay, but things happen when you are altering someone's body. Things happen when you are digging in someone's mouth. Things happen when you go underneath surgery. I don't know what happened. I mean, we just put her under and she never woke up. Things happen, Okay, so since we have our multi-million-dollar CEO caps on, and you know that although you formed your LLC 5 minutes ago, you are now the CEO of a multi-million-dollar business, and you are the next Walmart, the next Sam's Club, the next Amazon. You want to make sure that you are protected. If you are doing any kind of service, you need to have a waiver of liability signed. It is not abnormal if your client gets, well, what's this? Why I gotta sign something now? I don't, because you gonna have them ignorant ones. I mean, why do I do all this paperwork? I mean, for what? It is now our policy that we have to have a waiver of liability for all services. Okay, so you may lose a client or two. I would rather lose a client, because if she don't want to sign it, it's just gonna be a headache down the road. If you need a waiver of liability, I have one on my website, okay? Or you can get your own waiver of liability. But you do not need to be touching anyone or providing any service without this waiver of liability. Something may happen. So we have our LLC to protect us. We have our trademark to protect our name or our logo or our slogan. We have our copyright transfer agreement to own either our logo, our photos, our video, any kind of content that is created for our company. We own that. We're going to get a patent if we're trying to own our formula or own our design. What else? We're going to have a waiver of liability so that if you are performing any kind of service on someone or altering someone's looks, we are protected. We have our operating agreement or our bylaws. If we're an LLC or a corporation, that's the contract that's going to govern us. And I think that will have us. Oh, we are only swiping the business card for business expenses, and we are only swiping our personal card for personal expenses. We are not depositing business money in the personal account, and we have a point of sale system or a POS system that's going to track off. Thank you, Contra Pimo Culture. Non-disclosure agreement. We have a non-disclosure agreement so that we are not discussing any deals, any kind of business ventures, and then any employee or person working in our business does not know our trade secrets or where we're getting where we're sourcing our inventory from or who our client list is. They already know on day one, if you reveal this information, I'm going to sue you. And when you give the contracts, we don't have to give it scared. We're going to, especially an employee on day one, you want to set the tone. So you're not coming and hey, do you mind signing this? You want to kind of explain what they're signing. So this is a non-disclosure agreement. I'm going to have you, be emailing the customers, make sure that they're okay, but you are going to have access to my customer database. You are signing this agreement saying that you are not going to copy or alter any of my client database or give it to anyone. If you do, I will have to sue you. Do you understand? So when you're having someone sign the contract, we're just telling them we're not pretending that we don't want them to know what it is. We want them to know what it is so that they know, okay, let me not play with this one. If you're doing a non-disclosure, hey, before I get into the details of this business venture, I think it's going to be phenomenal for us. I do want us to sign this non-disclosure agreement. Therefore, if this deal does not go through, you understand that you cannot take any part of this idea I'm about to give to you. We hit them. It's like a fight. All that talking, you're going to just hit them. You're going to just hit them right in the nose. Bam. Here's what it is. So they already know, okay, she not playing, okay, right. We're not going to curtail. We're not going to act like hey, do you mind signing this? Waiver of liability. Hey, some new policies or waiver of liability. I am doing a service that alters, your natural look. It is standard in this industry. And my attorney advised me that everyone needs to sign this now. I'm going to keep it on file for the next 2 years. So you only have to sign it once. Bam. You don't have to hide anything. Okay, we're going to just tell them straight what it is. So those will be I think, our basic things to protect us, to protect you, to protect your idea, to protect your business, so that when your business does grow, we're already protected. We don't want to grow and then be like, oh shoot, I don't own my logo. Well, Beyonce's about to wear my clothing line. It's about to blow up. Well, once someone sniffs money, it's a wrap. So you want to make sure in the beginning, as we're already a multi-million-dollar CEO, the money just hasn't hit the bank yet, but it's coming. So why it hasn't hit the bank yet? Let me get all my ducks in a row. Let me just dot all my I's, cross all my T's, so I'm good. So when that money does hit, everything is protected. Everything is safe. Like, we're just good. Okay? So that'll be my little rundown for tonight. If you need any of those contracts or waivers, they're on my website. The tax reduction guides are on my website. Make sure that you can, for a POS system, Stripe, Clover, Square, who else? Stripe, Clover, Square, I think would be the biggest ones. But you want to make sure that every person who leaves your business is invoiced and that sale is tracked somewhere, so you have a third party report of your sales. So if you were to go into the bank and they may think your bank statements are altered. Some people don't think Black folks should be making this kind of money, right? So you can just go, hey, well, let me just log onto your computer and print out, my sales report from Square. So then, when you have Square report printed, it's kind of like, shut up, I hear my sales. And it's really easy also for your CPA, your accountant, and you to know, oh my gosh, I did X amount in sales. We always want to know what we're doing. So this month, last year, how much more money did you make? This month, last year, are our numbers higher? Are they lower? So you also want to know your numbers so you can kind of compare year to year. Am I growing? If I'm not growing, is there a reason why I'm not growing? Like if I'm in the restaurant industry and COVID hit, I understand why my numbers are down because we had a whole issue with the world. But, you want to know every year our numbers should be growing, and you want to know what that net profit or that net income is. Like how much are we making after our expenses so that we know how much we're actually bringing home, and can we afford to be, expanding inventory, hiring more employees? Do we need to be putting this extra money aside in bank account number 4 for our tax savings account? Like where are we putting this money at? Okay. So I hope I will record this. I will repost this live in case you guys are just chiming on or had to leave off early. And of course, I will see you at the bank.